Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to the Mindfulness Daily Practice. So we've been transitioning out of our topic of compassion, but I'm kind of doing it lightly as we kind of walk through a few of the other compassion items in a little bit more depth. And so as we walk outwards in our compassion meditation, we work on self, a good friend, a stranger, a enemy, or a challenging person, and then we extend outwards to the whole world in our compassion practice. So today's topic, we're coming down to this extending our compassion out to the whole world, and specifically talking about feeling compassion and empathy for those who don't have it as good as we do. And we touched on this a little bit briefly, that what can tend to happen here sometimes is that we empathize a lot with those people and that we don't take the extra step towards compassion. And so when we're empathizing, really taking on the feelings of the other person, imagining what the other person might feel, just like monks who were asked to do it and who were measured in the fMRI machine, to only exert effort towards empathy and not compassion can be draining, and we can suffer from empathic fatigue as we try so hard to empathize with the other person without looking for that answer. What can be of service? And I use the story of the two people on the road, one person that is underneath a boulder and the other person who comes up to them. If the only thing we see is empathy, we ourselves feel that crushing feeling of the boulder, and we don't end up having the strength to be able to look at the situation and know what we need to do, push the boulder off the other person, go, bring them to seek medical attention. So it's important to understand that this really is the key step, that compassion is that one additional step, asking yourself that question: what can be of service? What can truly be of service in this time? And it's not necessarily helping. Sometimes we think that helping is something that is required. And so understanding that in some situations that isn't the most compassionate solution, especially in situations of conflict. So sometimes the best situation especially with your enemy, with a challenging person, isn't to help. It is instead sometimes to do nothing, to walk away. That can be the most compassionate solution, especially if that person's ears are already closed. So today we move into the compassion for those who are less fortunate than us. And so this two-step process, so thinking of what can be done, but let's go back here, that the very first step is this recognizing that they're human. So going through our 3 steps of compassion: mindfulness, common humanity, seeing similarities, and offering kindness. So even just inclining the attitude towards kindness is the first step. So recognizing that they're human, that they also want to be happy, and wishing them well. As we wish them well, maybe something comes up about actions that we can do. So really this is the very first step, is to offer kindness. And maybe there is something to be done. What is the goal? What's the purpose of doing this? Well, one, recognizing that there are people less fortunate than us. It's uncomfortable for us sometimes to recognize that this is the case. And as I mentioned last week, with what more than nearly 50% of people don't have an internet connection at all. So 50% of people in the world don't, and this could be a indicator of their how financially well off they are, because now even in other countries in Southeast Asia, most people that I see have a mobile phone. So this is it, right? And that's the I see, right? There's so much going on that we don't see, that we can bring into light. It helps to purge our ignorance as well. So this is maybe one of the goals of this practice, is to help us recognize that these people are there, even if it's uncomfortable for us to recognize that they're there, to intentionally bring them into mind and to remember. And Saturday was in Singapore, the holiday is called Hari Raya Puasa. So it's the day of that Ramadan ends, and I always remember Ramadan when Ramadan comes up, because there was one year, it's like 12 years ago or so, that I was living here in Singapore. I was teaching at a local college, and I'd say nearly maybe 45% of my students were Muslim. And just to support them in Ramadan, I also participated in Ramadan myself. I also fasted from the sunrise to the sunset. So just mostly for support and I suppose, and challenge and self challenge. And it among other things, it built community. It built bridges. It's much to my surprise. I'm not Muslim myself, but there was a lot of good feeling of camaraderie that came with that. The other thing, and this really is more applicable to our practice, is that it reminded me of what it feels like to be hungry. And I think a lot of us don't even remember what this feeling is like. I mean, what's it like to go from breakfast to lunch? Sometimes we know that feeling, but then to feel hunger a bit more. And then to tell another story, when my retreat in Sri Lanka, I did a meditation retreat in Sri Lanka, and after the retreat was over, as I came back to Colombo, as I was walking through the streets of Colombo, I just saw a lot of elderly people with their mats out, sleeping on the streets. And there was one person, a young man, who followed me around for a while, talking to me, seemingly just wanting to chat. And after kind of following me around for nearly 2 hours, he confessed, "I'm hungry. Is it possible for you to help give me something to eat?" And it just really opened my eyes, and it inspired me in those times to I would take Mondays off eating. I would fast every Monday I did this for a few months. And the idea was this connection, so that I connect with those people who are hungry, because this really is one of the key symptoms of people who are really less fortunate than us, is that we tend to not know what real hunger is. And so this was one of the ways that I helped to build my own empathy, to remember these people, was through fasting. And so it helps, and it helps to understand. It helps to incline our own attitudes towards kindness to those who are less fortunate, and think, what is it that I can do? And not to overextend ourselves, to be realistic. What is it that we can give back? And no, right? I mean, this is two of the 9 attitudes of MBSR, are gratitude and generosity. And so it kind of leads me in as well to gratitude. So it's another thing that bringing kindness to those less fortunate than us can do, is it can help bring gratitude to our situation. We have so much, but we tend to focus on all of the things that we don't have. And so when we feel hunger, and we know that all we have to do is go and open the refrigerator, and there's something there, this is something to be grateful for. So kind of 2 of these things. One, to incline the mind to kindness and compassion, to recognize the situation that you have is better. You are definitely over the 50 percentile mark in the world when it comes to your well-being. And can we be grateful for that? So, hi everybody, welcome. Our meditation today is going to be that. We're going to be reaching our loving kindness outwards. So starting with self, and then beginning to extend our kindness and compassion outwards to each other and to everyone around the world. So go ahead and get comfortable. Allow your eyes to close if you like. Just come into stillness here for a while. And begin to notice the fact that you are breathing. Your breath continues going out and going in. And it affects the body. It creates sensations in the body. Can you pay attention to the sensations that your breath creates? Sensations in the nostrils. Sensations in the belly. In the chest. Just taking a few moments to notice what it feels like to breathe. And now let's begin our compassion practice. So starting with this object closest to us, the object of self. So knowing that you don't have to be any different than how you are right now. The you that's shown up here is the you that's here right now and is already enough. So there's a time to strive to be better, to change ourselves. And that time is not now. Now is the time for being exactly as we are. And inclining our hearts to kindness towards ourselves. So you may not feel worthy or deserving of love. This does not matter. Seeing if you can open your heart to yourself. I am already enough. And I can love myself exactly as I am right now. And knowing that it is possible for you to love yourself unconditionally. No matter what the situation of your life, no matter what you're facing, no matter what's happened in the past. So reaching out your heart to itself. And if you like, sending out some well wishes to yourself. So repeating after me if you feel comfortable to do so. May I be happy and contented. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and whole, to whatever degree possible. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. And so we'll begin to reach out if you feel comfortable to do so. If you find that this practice is already challenging, don't worry, because you and the universe that gave rise to you are not separate. And where the you ends and the universe begins is unclear. So, each object of loving kindness already includes all of the others. So if you feel like you want to stay with this object of self, by all means continue. And if you like, you don't need to let go of the object of self anyway. So starting to bring into mind your close friends and family members. Seeing if you can see their faces in your mind's eye. Who shows up? Who's there? Wishing them well. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. And so if you like, continuing to extend outwards, including friends of friends, co-workers, everyone else on this meditation today. Coming in from all around the world, little nodes dotted across this little blue planet of ours. Extending a web of loving kindness as we wish each other well, wish well to the strangers in our lives. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. And extending to our cities, our neighborhoods, and remembering all of those who are less fortunate than us. Those who struggle to make ends meet. Those who don't know where their next food is coming from. Those in the hospital. Those who are sick or dying. Those who are incarcerated, justly or unjustly. Those who are just being born. So from beyond your city, your country, these imaginary borders that we create, seeing if we can envelop the entire world in our web of loving kindness, as we all are in different places. So inclining our heart towards kindness, compassion, as we recognize that all human beings have times of suffering, have times of difficulty. So maybe allowing a few more faces to come into the mind, more strangers, people around the world. Seeing how vast your attention, your ability to care and be compassionate can be. How vast is your loving kindness? Can you include every human being in the world? Those who we agree with, those who we don't, political leaders, leaders of corporations, and those who are less fortunate, reaching out to see if we can offer our loving kindness to them all. May the earth and all human beings be happy and contented. May the earth and all human beings be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May the earth and all human beings be healthy and whole to whatever degree possible. May the earth and all human beings be at peace. May we have ease of well-being. And so wherever you are now, whatever you're feeling inside, knowing that it's already enough. You don't need to have any special feeling for this power, this practice to be powerful. So on your next exhalation, see if you can just let go of it all. Let go of any visualization you have. Come back to the present. Be aware once again that you're breathing. Feel the breath. This thing that you share with not only all human beings, but all living things on this planet, the exchange of gases of the external environment and inside the body. Every human being you wished well for just now shares this with you. We are all breathing. So connecting deeply with this feeling of breath. This cycle. The earth itself has its own cycles, breathes in its own way. So just paying attention to the feeling of breath, expansion as we breathe in, contraction as we breathe out. As we begin to draw our practice to its natural close. And I'll close our practice with 3 rings of the bell. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining in practice today. I wish you all well. Hope everything in your life is going well and can go to the best it can possibly go. I wish we all can realize the best version of ourselves. Thank you, everyone. How'd it go today? What was it like? Do you have any questions or comments? Rachel shares, good, but still had mind chatter, but kept coming back. Thank you. And maybe I don't have to remind you. That's normal. That's natural. Having the mind constantly wandering away is something that is common for all of us and becomes more and more common the more time we spend being distracted by, well, all of the distractions that we have these days. So thanks, Rachel, for sharing. Okay. Well, if there are no comments, this practice feels complete for me. I don't think I have anything else to say. So thanks for being here. Thanks for all of your well wishes. And let's close our practice by sending just a few more well wishes out to each other and to the rest of the world. So continuing to incline the mind towards kindness to self and to everyone else. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever they are, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all sentient life on this planet and throughout the universe be happy and peaceful. All right, take care, everyone. We are transitioning from this practice into gratitude. So out of kindness and compassion to those less fortunate, naturally gratitude begins to arise. So that is what we're going to begin talking about tomorrow. So look forward to it. Until then, bye-bye.